Did you know if you drop a like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds, nothing will happen but it will put a giant smile on my face? Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3 is literally only 11 days away when I'm recording this video, and with that said, with the live event teasers or developments happening more so by the day perhaps that you've missed, which we're also going to be covering in today's video, with the event itself being the last thing we're going to be seeing before downtime commences going straight into next season on June 3rd, 2022, it's safe to say today we have a ton of leaks, inside information and details on welcoming us to Fortnite Season 3. Of course that includes the Battle Pass, the skins that are going to be involved in next season, the cinematic trailer, what that's going to look like, or how it's going to be led into from the live events, and honestly without spoiling too much, just so much more that you would have never expected to be upcoming. So do yourself a favour today, sit back, relax, grab your favourite snack, stick around, watch this full video. And speaking of favours, one you can do me right now before you pick up the Season 3 Battle Pass or the season itself releases, as it's 100% free to do and takes 2 seconds, is enter code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button right now as we're on our final push to 2.5 million or 2.5 million subscribers, and after all it only benefits you as I do give different subscribers every single day, which as you can imagine very soon is going to be hundreds of the Season 3 Battle Pass. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with all of that said now, enough messing around, we've got new live event developments to talk about that have been implemented today secretly, Season 3 leaks and so much more, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not, I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
Okay, so to start off with some structure for today's video, of course we're quickly going to be recapping everything that's been going on for those that haven't kept up with the storyline, leading into not only what's happening now in terms of the live event developments we've just seen today, whether it's in-game or across social media that you haven't noticed, on top of hotfixes, but then of course how the live events leading into Season 3 and everything we know about the Battle Pass characters or what's going to be included within it when loading up Fortnite for the first time after the update. And to start out with real quick, I'm technically giving away 10 free battle passes as I'm going to be hiding V-Buck codes for 1000 V-Bucks throughout each video until Season 3 releases right now. So make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on so that you can get to these videos fast, and obviously watch until the end for the moment where the code is displayed on screen. With that said though, diving into it all with the 20.40 update going live, which seems like a distant memory now, although it's the final update of this season. We not only got introduced in this final stage of the imagined order being pushed back by the Seven in the battle to take over the island or control most of it, the brand new Collider POI obviously making sense of why they had control over not only their base of operation, the imagined order being Command Cavern, but also Loot Lake, as this was built on the outskirts of it, as you can see from the comparison. And since the last member of the Seven was revealed, being the Order right here, the other sister despite the imagined, in this particular loading screen we've mentioned it in other videos, teased subliminally very early on that the Collider POI was going to be put onto the map as a new location, but we didn't know where or how big it actually would be. And believe it or not, despite how ginormous it is, this Doomsday Device V2 that the imagined order have constructed, it's already making developments live in game if you manage to capture one of these moments of it pulsating. For those that can remember back to Chapter 1 Season 9 with the Mecha Team leader controlled by Singularity leaving the 0 point above the vault, in the final days it pulsated more vigorously, and I'm guessing that's going to be happening with the frequency of these pulsations of the Collider itself. After all, our Week 11 quest shows in hologram form on this table a pulsation, or what seems to be the actual event starting in itself, as it does look kinda different to the pulsations we're seeing in-game right now. And despite these being all members of the Seven that we know of right now, believe it or not, another brand new skin form for the Paradigm, being revamped anyways, was leaked in 20.40, which will be involved directly in the event. Before we hop into those crazy details about the live event and everything that's going to be happening within it, or how we're going to be getting to next season, of course you need to be seeing what's happening right now secretly in the background, as this was the previous lobby of the mech on this moon base that the Seven we now know have, or where Singularity fled to after the final showdown. As of today, May 24th, 2022, they've added the legs to this construction or recommission process of the Mecha Team leader giant robot, and the reason this is a giant is because this is the foundation or character size compared to, well, the size of the Mecha Team leader in game. It's a lot bigger than it looks on this moon base, to put it lightly. And speaking of this, of course, for those that don't know, that the Paradigm is another snapshot form of Singularity from Chapter 1 Season 9, being the secret skin codename Utopia before it was revealed, which means not only the Paradigm controlled the Mecha Team leader in the final final showdown to defeat the Polar Peak monster, but since leaving the 0 point above the vault and with the 7 making her public enemy number 1 for doing this and not recontaining it, despite the fact she's recommissioning it now and building it literally right in front of our eyes as the lobby hotfixes or updates, even though we seem to be helping with this process in the resistance quests that we've recently seen. For instance, we saw the one for scanning energy fluctuations around Loot Lake before the Collider POI was implemented, leading into then fishing for mech parts to obviously, you know, reconstruct this mecha team leader or help do so. The more interesting quest, or should I say quest outcome, of a voice note from the Origin who now trusts the Paradigm once again, despite obviously having his differences or feud with her in the past, says the following:
"If she refuses to help, we'll still need a pilot. And you've proven your loyalty to all of us."
Of course, this largely implicates that we're going to be controlling the mecha team leader in the live event itself individually, but how will this work considering there's millions of people going to be attending? Maybe it's like the Galactus live event where we were all in individual battle buses to defeat something ginormous, or maybe we're just sat in it for part of a cinematic that we now know can be a part of an event, such as what happened in the end event anyways. And for those wondering about if this actually will be happening or if we're going to be going to the moon as rumours have been suggesting, well, this definitely will be the case, and how we know this is not only based off the leaks of us going into a moon pod and then exiting, meaning we're going to be on the moon at some point during this live event, but I believe this is exactly how we're going to be starting it from the lobby, as this animation was leaked. And if you guys can see in the lobby right now where we're on the moon in the 7 base, it looks like we simply just go through this kind of pod on the ground, and then I believe when we enter the LTM, we'll appear outside directly from the lobby with no loading in between, like a loading screen or anything, and we'll be able to enter the mecha team leader looking down on the island, hence why we have this very low quality version of the map in the files, as it doesn't need to be high quality if we're obviously looking down at it, kinda like the minimap. And not only that, but these brand new mech cosmetics, as this is the mech bundle according to Firemonkey, will be available throughout the item shop, of course, before the event as we go into Season 3 directly after it. And of course, according to the Battle Pass, this will be on June 3rd, 2022, which can be subject to change, and I'll have updates on that Fortnite will put out across their social media before the time comes. Speaking of timing, however, we do typically enter a 12-hour downtime with a static screen or one that slowly develops more so until downtime ending after a live event. This is what we saw, of course, the black hole screen at the end of Chapter 1 going into Chapter 2, and then going into Chapter 3 we saw this driftwood, obviously, that we were floating on, come up more so to the Chapter 3 island. The reason I've mentioned these is considering the scale of the Season 2 live event, or this Collider one that's going to be happening to end off this season now, is down to the fact supposedly we're going to be entering an extended downtime for whatever reason, as data miners have been able to determine. And after the downtime lifts, when Season 3 begins, we're going to be greeted supposedly with a free gift off Epic Games for attending the live event, or maybe even beforehand, as FMBR Intel states this over on Twitter. But speaking of Season 3 and loading it up for the first time, if you're subscribed to the Fortnite crew, of course you're going to be met with a similar screen to this, asking us to redeem our Battle Pass that we're owed. If you're not subscribed, I'm guessing it goes straight into the cinematic or story trailer, and then the Battle Pass trailer, introducing most if not all of our skins for the first time, around 7 or 8. And of course, before we go into downtime for Season 3, or even what puts us there, the live event before this happens, around a week to 10 days, or any day now really, we should be seeing both timers implemented, not only in-game looking like this above the Collider, but also in the lobby being different this time for whatever reason I don't know. And despite me revealing we're going to be on the moon at some point, whether it's starting the event on there or travelling to there during the event off the Fortnite island, it's safe to say it's confirmed we're going to be on the island too, from this kind of destruction that's been put into the game's coding for gameplay sequences of what's going to be going down during the event, to do with scenery / terrain damage and also tanks or vehicles. And as for this event taking place, I hope it's not spoiled considering it's teasing so far to be one of the biggest or best we've seen yet. I may be biased though, considering the final showdown is my favourite gaming live event of all time, and obviously Fortnite made the best gaming live event. So far, despite data miners saying Season 3 is not going to be Star Wars themed, it's looking like that could be the case thanks to an Unreal Engine livestream leak of a full the same C3S3_Vader, meaning Darth Vader. Prior to this, reliable YouTubers who had inside sources came out stating that Darth Vader would be an upcoming skin, and this pretty much just confirmed it. But if you're wondering what C3S3_Jones means, no, it doesn't mean Jumpsuit Jones that was added in the 20.40 update or any other variant of Jones that we've seen on the Fortnite X Marvel comics, rather so Indiana Jones that again YouTubers with reliable inside sources have came out about. And supposedly we've been waiting on Indiana Jones coming to Fortnite for quite some time, as you guys may or may not know. Even on the Chapter 3 map right now we have teasers pointing toward Indiana Jones, for instance the fridge reference where he got in it inside inside this Nuketown looking place where a nuke went off and he survived. Speaking of those two characters, however, it's kind of been confirmed now from this leak over on 4chan, which seems to be reliable considering nobody could go through the efforts of recreating this or making this in any way if it was to be fake, as they've not only revealed what the brand new mecha robot will look like, and we're going to be getting announced the June crew pack in a few days, so this will be confirmed then. But as you can see, yeah, Darth Vader and Indiana Jones in the same battle pass. I'm guessing Darth Vader is going to be on page 10 or the last one, and then Indiana Jones is the unlockable skin this season like Prowler. But speaking or looking specifically at the teasers we've had pointing towards Star Wars being an AT-AT potential vehicle, Darth Vader, C-3PO and Chewbacca, here are all the relevant images linking to that, and don't forget Donald Mustard previously has teased things in the background of videos like R2-D2 and other things that have come to Fortnite, so perhaps R2-D2 will as well. The AT-AT vehicle from Star Wars looking like this is the most interesting actually, considering Donald Mustard not only teased this in his banner in the most recent change he made, but he also changed the location that he has from this, the Spider-Man walks into a bar, to Reality Zero. Who knows, maybe next season instead of the blimps like we saw this season, we have AT-ATs scattered throughout several locations, POIs, or just across the map in general as giant structures. In terms of how these things are brought down in Star Wars by tying up their legs and stuff like that in these air vehicles, maybe that's why perhaps the Baller has had updated files throughout several updates this season, so when it's added with the large string attached when we're actually grappling onto something, we can go around the AT-AT's legs and bring them down. Last but not least to mention about Season 3 in terms of vehicles, however, or something we're going to be riding is rideable animals. As you can see, Hypex leaked here. I'm not exactly sure what this means, whether we'll be able to put a saddle on a ball like in Minecraft with a pig, or whether new wildlife is going to be added and this new wildlife is the only thing we can mount and kind of, yeah, ride around the map on. But feel free to let me know your theories about that specifically down below in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, slap a like in it and make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss any future videos on this build up now. But with that said, of course, make sure to click any video on screen right now, and hopefully I can catch you in that very next video I do post on the channel.